Hello everyone, I hope you're all well. Thank you so much for tuning in as always. Welcome back to the Magnificent Mags channel. It's been a beautiful Tuesday here on North Tyneside today, and when I finished work before, we're sitting at a desk all day. I needed to come out and do a couple of things, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to get my steps in, and I'm on the way back to get a couple of things from the shop and then catch tonight's opening third round games. And I thought I'm just going to jump on and do a quick 10-minute video while I'm walking back, previewing our game tomorrow. But yes, the Carabao Cup is back. Our game tomorrow, 7:45 kickoff at St James's Park against Bradford City. And yes, we are defending our trophy. We're the holders. I've been waiting all my life to say that, honestly, and we'll have that special gold patch with the number 1 on it. And like the title of this video says, I've said, is the Carabao Cup a priority this season? Because this trophy, over the years, along with the FA Cup, domestic trophies have basically been a love-hate relationship. Mostly hate, and that's because our previous owner, that man who owns that crap retail shop, didn't put any priority into the cups, did he? He dismissed them and basically went, oh no, let's just concentrate on the league. We don't want to be wasting our time with distractions like the cup, and we'll just survive, and then he can take his money and just laugh at us. Well, he puts no investment into the club, and that's why we're playing catch up with PSR right now and trying to get everything in order, new sponsorships. But yes, in recent seasons, I don't want to say just because of Eddie Howe, because his squad has to go out there and do it as well, but Eddie Howe's attitude towards this competition and the FA Cup as well, but mainly this one, has made us kind of fall back in love with this competition. Because yes, I know a lot of people will be saying, oh, how can you get up for Bradford, League One Bradford at home on a Wednesday night after the high of playing Barcelona last Thursday? But you know what? I like this competition. And yes, I know we had the high of Barcelona last week, but you know what? I do really like this competition because prior to Eddie Howe's arrival, our record in this was dismal, but he's rekindled a love with this because the way he approaches these games. And but like I said, but before Eddie Howe's arrival, our only real success of getting to a semi-final or beyond was 1976. When we lost to Manchester City to one Geordie, Dennis Stewart. And then you come forward to 2 years ago, we got to the 2023 final, didn't we? Those memorable games in the quarterfinals and Sean Longstaff's double in the semi-final, and then losing eventually to Manchester United. And then we won it this very year, back in March the 16th at Wembley. Oh God, and that day will always live long in my memory. I've said this, even the lads have said it, no matter how many trophies we could possibly win in the future, that first one in our lifetime will never be topped for that feeling. And you know what, I'm going to go through past winners here, and like which teams have won it as well, because I want to show you that while people are dismissive of the Carabao Cup, it doesn't really show that when you look at the big clubs who have won it. But I'm also going to go through for a sort of juxtaposition, the so-called smaller clubs who've also won it, because in the 80s and the 90s there was smaller teams who had won it, and then you had it in the early noughties as well, and the start of the 10s. So I'll read them out for you now. 4 times winners Spurs, 5 times winners Villa and Chelsea, 6 times winners Man U, 8 times winners City, and 10 times winners Liverpool. So when people say, oh, why are you putting so much effort into a 4th tier competition, basically saying it's ranked 4th in terms of what your priority should be. And look, I know people are going to say that we've won the Carabao Cup now, that trophy's off our back, whether it's domestically, European or a league title, whatever one came our way first. They're saying, do you really want to put so much effort into it now that you've won it, when you've got Champions League football this season, the FA Cup to come in January, and then trying to get back into Europe through the league? But yes, because if you want to be this big club, so as the likes of the other clubs have shown, the Liverpools, the Chelseas, the Manchester Uniteds, the Manchester Cities, they've won it so many times. And yes, I know in the early rounds they've always used it as a sort of springboard for their season, trying to get like just youth players into the team, give them some minutes, and then when they get to the latter rounds, they take it seriously, and it's sort of like a shot in the arm, like epinephrine to the chest, say, to basically jolt their season. And then it's like, right, you've got the taste of that, you can go on and get more. And Yeah, but knowing Eddie Howe as well, he's not going to dismiss this competition. He's even said in his press conference today, he knows some players, there's going to be rotation, but he knows some players have played 3 games in the last week, such as Sandro Tonali. That guy's engine's phenomenal. How he done another 90 minutes against Bournemouth after Barcelona, I'll never know. But he's also said the need for keeping the players' rhythm. And that's where I go back to Mike Ashley dismissing cup competitions during his reign, because when you've got a cup run, yeah, it dovetails with your league form. You've got the excitement that if your league form hits a bit of a snag, like a bump in the road, then you've got the cup competitions to look forward to. So they work in tandem, and it showed, like when we had poor seasons. Look, I know it's not the League Cup, but the FA Cup runs of 98 and 99, I remember them as a band getting to the final. The league form, we finished 13th both of those seasons, but we had that cup run and eventually got to Wembley. Yes, we lost, but it keeps your season alive. And Eddie Howe, again, like I said, he's not going to rest players if he thinks it's going to disrupt their rhythm. And that's why Mike Ashley was wrong, because yes, he might have wanted to concentrate on the league, but it just gave the fans nothing to look forward to. As soon as the draws came around, you basically knew you were out in the 3rd round, whether it was the FA Cup or the 2nd round of the League Cup. And that's where he was wrong, because players want to play games, and then they've got that rhythm if they're continuing to play. And look, I'll go back through the previous winners of other clubs who've won it. So here you've got 1985, Norwich City, 1986, Oxford United, 88 Luton, 91 Sheffield Wednesday, 97 Leicester, 2000 Leicester, 2002 Blackburn, 2004 when we went out so early and saw Borough win it, that stung, 2011 Birmingham, 2013 Swansea City, and then it's basically until us being dominated by the likes of City, Liverpool, Man U and Chelsea. And we're all remembering a lot of our cup exits over the years. I mean, in Ashley's reign, I can specifically remember some dismal League Cup defeats. 2009, the season when we're in the Championship. We went out to Peterborough United in the 3rd round. That was 2-0 away. I think it's still called London Road. And then you go to 2011. We went out in the 4th round. That was away at Blackburn, Ewood Park. We lost 4-3. And then in the 2014-15 season, you thought, oh, look at this, we'll finally put a run together. We got to the quarterfinals, but then a brilliant Spurs team battered us. And then the season after, the season we actually got relegated, 2015-16, it was a dismal exit at home to Sheffield Wednesday, 1-0 in the 3rd round. So that's why I go back to this competition being love-hate over the years, because we've just been dumped out at so many early rounds. The draw comes round and you're like, I'm not interested, I'm not going to go, even though you did to the games, because you just knew exactly what was coming. It was basically an air of inevitability. However, we've got Bradford tomorrow night, and you know what, they've had an impressive start of the season. The fact that they are top of League One, I think they're on 20 points. They took a couple of big scalps recently. The favourites in League One this season have been Cardiff City and Huddersfield Town, and they beat both of those 3-1. So they're fantastic results for them. And to get to the 3rd round in this competition, they've won at 2 championship teams in Blackburn Rovers and Stoke City. So Bradford aren't a team we can just dismiss. And I think it's the first time we've played them since 2001. Yeah, in 24 years. It was under Sir Bobby. I think it was 2-2 down at Valley Parade. And then at home we won 2-1. But it's our 43rd encounter in all competitions with them. We edge it. But yeah, I'm not expecting it to be a walkover tomorrow. And look, if you go back to previous League Cup games, or even FA Cup games, just domestic cups in general, when we've drawn these lower league teams, they've been dismal affairs, let's be honest. The Wimbledon game, that was just the 1-0, wasn't it, last season? Even though we won it in the end, the competition. Fabian Schär with a penalty. And then you go back to previous cup games as well. Some of them have been awful, just awful affairs. And it's because these teams come up to, well, that's St James's, like they'll attack you at home, but when they come to St James's, you think, oh, normally it used to have this dismissive attitude of, oh, we'll walk over them, because it's basically a game we can put the kids out in, but not anymore. So many teams are competitive, and Graham Alexander, who used to be under Eddie Howe at Burnley, and Eddie Howe talked about the day when he was told that Graham Alexander wasn't complimentary of him, but Eddie said he was young, naive, didn't lean on the experienced players, and he had to try and get rid of players and bring in ones for the Championship after their relegation. But yeah, Graham Alexander's done a fantastic job for them, and they'll be like, apparently they've got a bit technical quality. I haven't watched them, to be honest. Obviously won't be as high quality as us, but then also they'll be combative, physical, they'll be a threat aerially. So yeah, I'm not expecting tomorrow to be an absolute cakewalk, because we've seen it before though. I could even go back to previous FA Cup exits. Remember, we've lost to so many teams over the years. And look, I don't want there to be any complacency tomorrow thinking we're just going to roll Bradford over. That's absolutely not going to happen. And it goes back to our cup exits before. Yes, again, this is cutting over to the FA Cup and this is a League Cup preview, but it just shows you the teams who've knocked out in previous seasons. Brighton 2012 and 13, Stevenage 2011, West Brom 2010, Cardiff 2014, Leicester when they were bottom of the Premier League 2015, and then Watford in 2016. So it just shows you. And the Cambridge game, I remember being at the Cambridge game just after the takeover and they knocked out 1-0. So you can't underestimate these teams. So this is why I'm going to get on to what I think the team will be tomorrow. And remember this, Bradford City are the team who done that famous cup run in 2013. And in that cup run, they knocked out Notts County, Watford, Burton, Wigan, Arsenal in the quarters, and then Villa over 2 legs in the semis, and then they eventually got humbled 5-0 in the final by Swansea. So just before all the lights gone, what I think my team will be tomorrow, I think it'll be Aaron Ramsdale, right back. It's a toss-up between Trippier and Kraft, because Trippier didn't play at Bournemouth, so I'm going to go with Kraft. Left back, I think he might continue with Lewis Hall. I've heard calls for Harrison Ashby, but I just think he's done here. Or we could say Alex Murphy. You never know. He might give the youngsters a run out. But I'd say Hall got 90 minutes in him. Can he go again? We'll wait and see. Centre-backs Malik Chow and Jamal Lascelles. Jamal Lascelles, it's been noted today by Eddie that he's disappointed to be left out the Champions League squad. So he'll want to play tomorrow. And also Malik Chow, left centre-back. And you might think, why left centre-back when he's right-footed? But he predominantly played for AC Milan at left centre-back. Going into midfield, I expect either Bruno or Joe Linton to play, though. Joe Linton, because he's apparently nursing a knock, I expect our captain to come back in. Look, I'm aware that we've got 3 games coming up. Arsenal, San Gilloise in the Champions League, and then Forest before the next break. But it could be a half each. Bruno and then Joe Linton, they make it a half each. Midfielders, I expect it to stay as Miley as the 6, Joe Willock alongside them. And then the front 3, I'm expecting to be Anthony Elanga, just for his pace. Give him some minutes, put him out there. People are saying, should you wrap him in cotton wool? But look, Murphy's played the last couple of games, hasn't he? So play Elanga. Centre forward will be William Asula. If he doesn't make a mark in this, what's his future going to be? Look, even if he does well, I don't think he's getting in ahead of Wissa and Voltemada. But if he wants to stay here, these are the types of games and teams he needs to be making an impact against. Because I hope it was a wake-up call from this summer that he could have been sold. And left wing, I expect Anthony Gordon to come back in. Obviously, he served the final game of his domestic ban at Bournemouth. So he comes back in for me tomorrow night. You've got to play him, and you've got to play him in his favoured position on that left wing. Can't be shutting him out to the right just to keep playing Harvey Barnes. Get Gordon in, get him some actual game time in his legs so he's match fit, ready for Arsenal on Sunday. And finally, before I go, what do I think the prediction will be? Well, like I said, it's not going to be an easy game. These games never are. They're always like physical, stop-start, turgid affairs with niggly little tackles, then getting half chances here and there. And look, Bradford, with the run they're on in League One, being the top of it, they've got nothing to lose. So we've got to be wary of that. And they're bringing a full sold-out away end, so that's fantastic. But what do I think? I do think we'll win it. I think we'll get through to the 4th round. but it's not going to be a high-scoring affair. We've got to accept that's going to be the case until we get Johan Wissa back, who anyhow said the day should be back for Brighton, so that's fantastic. So I'm going to go 2-0 Newcastle. I think Bradford will give her some scares. Like I said, nothing to lose, but it's ours to lose. And yeah, I think we'll see it out in the end, no matter which team we play. This could be Joe Linton's game with his physicality. But I'm going to go 2-0 Newcastle, and then we're through to the 4th round draw, which will be done after Port Vale against Arsenal. But anyway, that's it from me for now. I'm nearly back home, so thank you so much for watching. If you have liked this video, please like, comment anything that I've discussed. What do you think the lineup will be? What do you think the scoreline will be? And please do subscribe. And I'll be back tomorrow night when I leave St James's on my post-match reaction. So for now, take care. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.